All right, guys, good morning out there. Rooster and 10, roostercb.com. Pretty busy day ahead of us, but before we get started, we'll take a look at this 2-pill 454 that Carl sent down here. First one of these that he's done, to my knowledge, just kind of getting started with the 2-pill 454s. So we're going to see how this one runs. It does have a variable in it. So, as I've said before, most anytime you have a variable, you can expect just a little bit of decrease in power output, but it gives you the opportunity and the ability to cut it back and use it as a driver and stuff like that. So this one also has sideband delay, which does work well. A lot of people like the 454s for sideband. They seem to be pretty stable, pretty durable as far as that goes. Recommended drive on this, personally, I'm going to say around 35 to 40 PEP in, and then 10 average to 12 average if we're talking about bird power. Let's see if he's got a sticker on the back of it here. Yep, and that's exactly what he's got on here. So excuse me, he's got it rated at 40 watts PEP in. So again, that's measured on a bird meter. We're at 14.5 right now. We may twist it up to 15, but 14.5 is kind of a good happy area. And we're going to use my Uniden 66, does about 35 PEP and about 10 average. So are we necessarily squeezing the lemon and getting the most out of it? No, but we're going to be in the ballpark of maximum output. So let's see how this guy does. 2-pill 454. All right. My favorite transistor, by the way. Alrighty. 250 watt scale, top scale here. It's got a really low dead key there. Let's turn a little more dead key into it. Let's go 25 watts. Alright, now we're at 25 watts. Hello, audio. Hello. 90 average or so, 95. Ooh, pretty close to 100. And our PEP. Essentially 250 on the dot. Now, we will see a difference if it makes a difference at all going up half a volt. Let's go up to 15 flat, which is where the max I recommend running on these. Variables being touchy over here. All right, we're at 15 flat. Now let's go back to average and see if it made a difference. So our dead key that you notice immediately went from about 25 to about 30, 35. And we went up to essentially 100 average. Audio, radio, audio, radio. Audio, radio, audio, radio. Audio, radio, audio. So right there at 100 average. And one thing you'll see about the 454s, I don't know if many people pay attention to this or not, but it's especially noticeable on average power, the way they make the watt meter move on average. I mean, they just hold over there pretty well. And that's something I always noticed with like 1446s too. And I guess it's just the characteristics of the transistor. Hello, audio. So over 250 now. You can see it's pushing it past 250. I'd say it probably came up to 265 or so. We can look real quick. Let's put our 500 in, so we'll be looking at the middle scale. Let's go back to peak. Hello, audio. Yeah, just a little past 250, so probably 260 or so, give or take. Let's turn our variable back halfway and see what that does if it changes the top end. Hello, it definitely did. Hello. So about 215, 220, 9 o'clock here. Hello, audio, about 185, 190, and then all the way, let's see, that's all the way down. Let's go a little bit less than all the way down. This is like 7 o'clock. Hello, 150, and then all the way down is at 6 o'clock on this thing. Hello. 140, 145, something like that. So can take you from about 250, 265 to about 145. And again, that can be different with every one of these. I don't expect the variable to be exactly the same on all of them. You know, you may get one that cuts back to 100 watts, and you may get one that cuts back to 125 watts. And it really depends on the radio you're hitting it with, too. Personally, mine, if I was getting one, I'm not a huge fan of variables. I like them with a high and low or just an on and off switch. That's just me. But I do understand why people want the variable on there. Okay, I'm not saying that's a terrible idea. I'm just saying my personal preference. I like them with a high and low or a on and off switch. But this one's running good. These are tough transistors, tough. Probably a little bit more forgiving for SWR. Now, is this something that you want to volt and put 16, 17 volts through? No, it's 15 volts tops. Anything beyond that, you're kind of pushing it to its limits. Again, this is just a 2-pill, 35 to 40 PEP going in. You step up to the 4-pill, you can go 50 to 60, 6-pill, 70 to 80, and then the 8-pill is usually 100 to like 120 on it. And then you guys kind of see how it increases by increments as you go. But nice. I like these as a driver section. I mean, you guys see the output that this is doing. I know, in comparison, Tony, Charger at Fat Boy, he likes to use the 454s as drivers unless somebody requests otherwise. He likes to use them in the 2-driving 8s and stuff like that as drivers. So unless you ask him otherwise, if you get a 2-driving 8, it's usually going to have 454s in it. But they're a good medium output transistor that can take a little bit of drive, and that's about it. Carl sent this one down to check it out, and it gets 2 thumbs up from me. Does a really fine job. Again, just some takeaways from it. If you think, well, I've seen them do a little bit more than 250 before, you knock this variable out of here, and it's going to jump up in power. You're going to see that 275 to, between 275 and 300. Guaranteed. So if you run high and low, or you just run it, with an on and off switch, and that's it, probably going to show a little bit more power for you. All right, guys, thanks. Rooster in 10, roostercb.com, Carl built 454. First look. See you, bye.